Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 339, released September 1995. Our price, $1.99, which is indeed cheap. No, I was at my local comic shop, and I was buying one of the newest issue of Mad Magazine, and the guy made a comment. He said, "Wow, this is the exact same price as a comic book, and it's a whole magazine." And I said, "Yeah, that is impressive, but there's no new material." But before we get into this, let me remind you to hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the #1 way that you can support this channel, help it continue to grow, help spread the word of Mad Magazine. Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do, really. Well, no. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. Link is down in the description. What do you get? I don't know. You could get a stencil. You could get a 6 set of stickers. You could even get buttons. So go check that out if you think that what I do is worth anything more than a like, a subscribe, or a comment down below. These are the people that I get to thank for their support. Now, Joey Gesso, Reflection of Perfection, Misimo, Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Meadsbury, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's get here. All right, and here, Mad Magazine number 339. A Jack Davis cover. Is that rare? I feel like it is. You know, if you said to me, name Mad cover artists, I'd be like, well, Norman Mingo, that's #1. Probably name Kelly Freas. Mark Fredrickson. Those would be the first 3 names that I would say. I would not say Jack Davis as the first one that comes to mind. He did them, but not that often. And I always love seeing them because it's cool. You don't get to see his artwork, 1, in color, and 2, this large. So I don't know. I enjoy that about it. And this is in like the 95. So he had been doing stuff for like Reader's Digest, I think, or TV Guide, doing a lot of what is this called? Caricature work. Anyway, I like it. All of this stuff, the water splashing out, pouring over, splashing out. You know, it does. I do feel like his Alfred E. Neuman doesn't quite fit. Like, it seems like him really sticking to a formula and not doing. It's not so much his, right? Looks almost pasted on. Anyway, let's move on. Subscribe to Mad, save money. Here we have a house ad with these beautiful pins. These pins are awesome. Look at that. That's the actual size. That's larger than the actual size. And that is smaller than actual size. That's kind of cool. I wish that was the actual size. Flip the Bird. I love Flip the Bird, though. Look at, I even did my own little Flip the Bird drawing. Not drawing, lino print. I didn't draw it. Anyway, let's move right along. Here we get into the letters and tomatoes department. Letters and tomatoes. I do love this. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but they have a moving thing with all the stuff falling out. Were they moving? Did they move locations? I thought they did, but kind of later on. Anyway, hey, how about this one? This one just caught my eye. I wasn't going to talk about this. As a feminist, I'm deeply offended by your feature entitled, "If Do-It-Yourself Sex Were Taught in Public Schools," Mad Magazine number 336. In all the panels, the students were males. Has it ever occurred to you that females could also take that class and pass with flying colors? I demand equality. DL. I think she needs to deal with this problem on her own. We've got to hand it to you. You really put your finger on what was missing in the article. Sorry it rubbed you the wrong way, but hey, different strokes for different folks. And here we have, this is great. The face is familiar? I've always wanted to appear in your magazine as a drawing and a satire. Well, I thought it would take a chance and to see if you would. So here's my photo. I hope I see myself in a future issue. Thanks, Sal Itinero, San Leandro, California. Sally. We're in the business of fulfilling readers' wishes and have good news and bad news. Oh, this is like the Make a Dumb Wish Foundation before the Make a Dumb Wish Foundation. The bad news is all of our MAD artists were too busy this month to honor your request. The good news is longtime MAD writer Dick DiBartolo was available. So here's his super drawing of you. How proud you must feel. Ed. Look at that. Dickie D's drawing of Sal. And there's Sal. Pretty good. He could go places. Of course, there's the MAD mumblings, which is amazing because it's like you could just, this is the age of AOL, so you could do a lot of things. And also the envelopes of the month. You got to keep moving though, because there's a lot to talk about in this issue. Here we have Fiends. Do-do-ba-do-boo-bop-ba-do-bop. Sorry, now that's probably stuck in your head. Mort Drucker doing the drawings for this. This show just like had a recent resurgence because it became available on Netflix. And I think people are discovering all over again how silly the premise of it is. Like all of these people living in massive apartments in New York and apparently not working at all until much later seasons. They're like, oh, that guy's like a professor of dinosaurs, and she works at Macy's or something. Now, I did want to get to this. The debate over whether or not to place parental advisory stickers on compact discs has been raging ever since Prince was calling himself Prince. The controversy has been bad for artists' rights, bad for intelligent political thought, and bad for free trade and capitalism. But it's been absolutely fantastic for MAD. Get ready for the 5th installment in the never-ending series of still more badly needed warning labels for rock albums. Artist Paul Coker, writer Desmond Devlin, Desi Devlin, the Tasmanian Devlin, Tupac, Me Against the World. Consumer warning. Even if you loved all of Tupac's raps, remember that he sang those back when he had 2 testicles. What? Hold on. Did Tupac lose a testicle? According to multiple sources, including news articles and documentaries, Tupac was shot 5 times on November 30th, 1994 in a drive-by shooting in New York City. One of the bullets struck his groin area, passed through his thigh, causing him to lose a testicle. He lost a testicle. I didn't know that. I just learned from Mad Magazine. Look at him, poor guy. Right in the nuts. Right in the nut. Oh my goodness. What is this? Nirvana. Despite using no expensive equipment, getting free studio time and advertising, and having absolutely no new songs, this CD is just as overpriced as every other album. Oh, is this unplugged or something? I think so. Look at you have hits by Yanni. And Barney's favorites. Oh, here we go. Cypress Hill. We're going to do Cypress Hill and Ace of Base. Warning, one of the songs on this CD was mistakenly recorded when the group's lungs were free of blunt smoke. Unacceptable. Back to the studio. Ace of Base. I saw the sign, and it opened up my eyes, I saw the sign. Although Ace of Base is Sweden's hottest rock group, remember that to accomplish that, they only had to top Roxette, the inevitable ABBA comeback, and that old Ooga Chaka song. Hooked on a Feeling. That one was great. Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream. I have this on cassette tape, and it's awesome. No actual pumpkins were harmed in the making of this album. That's a very good one to take note of. These are great. I love the Paul Coker drawings on all of these. I love how it's set up. It's perfect. Here we have Matt's reality check, what you can expect from the information super highway. Now, one thing that's really cool about this are the normal panels of this, but what's also really cool is this whole complex background of like overlapping roads and bridges that Al Jaffee drew for then all of these illustrations to be placed over. And it's like all of these little icons, these computer icons with legs walking around. It's great. This is like so cool. I absolutely love this so much. Yeah, that's all I have to say. No, but that can't be all I have to say because you probably want to see some of the what's in this. Each computer, like they have each little computer, NEC, Packard Bell, here's IBM and Apple. 400 new cable TV channels, 90% of which will be home shopping, 24-hour infomercials, and old sitcoms that even Nick at Night wouldn't stoop to air. Nick at Night was my favorite. That was like my ability, it made me, what am I saying? I was able to learn about television in the past through Nick at Night. And I'm thankful for that. More junk mail and phone solicitations than ever from marketing sleazebags who keep track of everything you do on the super highway. Whoa! And it got only worse. It only got infinitely worse. All of the marketing and sort of data that was scraped and collected. Golly, it's like it's kind of crazy that like in '95 people were aware of it and it was a problem. Here's the Potter ZB television. What is that, computer? Cashless society. This is nuts. A cashless society that will put gun-wielding muggers out of business and 12-year-olds with a second-hand Power Mac into business. The chance to buy sports and concert tickets from home nanoseconds after they go on sale and still have scalpers beat you to all the good seats. Are you kidding me? All of this is like, this is nuts. How about this? Twice as many calls from those pesky MCI, AT&T, and Sprint salespeople now calling. Okay, all right, that one's not as impressive. New ultra-sophisticated fiber optic lines that cost only pennies per foot, but can be repaired or replaced by $500 an hour technicians. Lots of sudden, unexplainable meltdowns built into system years earlier by all those techno geeks everyone's always making fun of. Okay, that's not a real thing. This is really cool, though. I mean, like, just those ones that I picked at random were, I don't know. It's crazy that everything is predictable, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Here we have a mad look at exercising. This is great. First off, a lot of babes in this one. Gotta love that. But it's also a lot of like kind of cute, funny things, like the guy riding in on his chopper. He switches out the handlebars, so he's like on the exercise bike like that. Of course, here's this one where it's a guy just like kind of casually looking at women. This guy's like, "Oh, this machine's open." He's like, "Nah, no, I'm just here to ogle women." I think it might still be a problem. This is one of the best ones. Right here, you have, he's looking at his wife. She's a little round, and he's like, "Hey, I got you this." She works hard. She loses weight, and he's like, "Whoa, look at that." And all the boys are checking her out, and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna be cuckolded, okay? You better start munching on some chocolates again, some Lindors and Lints, all right? No more lunges and leg lifts. You're going to be doing Lindorf and Lint is your new routine. The Academy for the Radical Religious Right course catalog. Artist Drew Friedman, writer Stan Hart. Let us see what is up with this. Look at that. Look at these illustrations. Anything with Drew Friedman? I mean, it's going to be fun to look at. Core curriculum. Core curriculum. Philosophy 101, The Trap of Thinking. This introductory course examines the secular humanism that has infected our culture as demonstrated by rock music, PG-13 rated movies, and Gilligan's Island reruns, which depict several unmarried men and women alone on a desert island. This course gives the student the philosophical sanction for comparing the pro-choice movement to genocide while advancing the theory that genocide itself isn't all bad depending on who's it used against. All enrollees are invited to a special seminar in which the seemingly contradictory theses of supporting capital punishment while fighting to protect the lives of the unborn are empirically justified. I don't know that I understand it. How about Business 101? Who's this guy? Oh, Pat Robertson. You see, this is the thing, like all of the like evangelical preachers are all like just terribly, they're doing like kind of nasty stuff. They're they're hypocrites, I guess, which, in and of itself, I'm not against hypocrisy. I'll be honest. I'm a hypocrite. So, I like to be consistent. But I think it's just, the irony, is that the word? The irony of the hypocrisy is what, people become bemused by. Business 101, I'm sorry. No, I want to do this. Computer-generated art. Has Mad Magazine just predicted the problems with AI artwork? Art 115, computer-generated art. In our state-of-the-art computer lab, students are trained to morph images of well-known pro-choice figures into depictions of Adolf Hitler for use on posters as demonstrations and on television public service announcements. Due to the highly advanced nature of this course, only students who have previously served no less than 60 days in jail for obstructing Planned Parenthood clinic entrances will be admitted. Academy graduates produce brilliant and highly innovative work, such as this morph of President Bill Clinton as infamous Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. Who got more girls, Hitler or Bill Clinton? Probably Bill. I think we know that answer. Here we have a Spy versus Spy with Manic and Edwing, and you can tell that it's a Manic because of the sound effects. Manic, as far as I can tell, he's the only artist who incorporated this level of sound effects, and it's fine. I don't, I find it inoffensive, and I'm ready to move on. Edwing got Spy versus Spy, and so did Clark. So it's like by the time you got to Manic doing the art for it, it's like the rules of it were so well established, and the people who were writing it knew it so well. It's like, what could go wrong? Oh, here we go. My guy. Who's my guy? John Caldwell. Irony is... Oh, starting off with some suicide. Struggling tirelessly over the years to make your product a household word, only to end up bankrupt because your product is a household word. Does that have Bobbitt's Sausage Works? Okay, I get the joke. Going out with your friends to celebrate earning a bachelor's degree in applied physics and being waited on by a guy with a master's degree in the same field. A pampered, overplayed ball player who charges kids for his autograph, suffering a career-ending injury. Suffering a career-ending writer's cramp. Finding a girly magazine under your son's mattress. Discovering it's the issue with your letter printed in it. Oh, that's like, hey, if you've had a letter printed in an adult magazine, please reach out to me. I want to know about it. Buying a condom for a blind date from a noticeably uncomfortable store clerk who later turns out to be your blind date. Finding your wife in bed with your best friend. on the pay-per-view porno channel in the cheap hotel room you're sharing with your secretary. Is that ironic? Turning in your pistol in a police-sponsored cash for handguns program only to be robbed leaving the building. And yeah, you know what's funny is like now YouTubers will do this thing if there's a police like gun buyback program, people will go and with cash and get in line and just buy people's handguns from them and give them more money than the police were going to give them. It's kind of funny. I'm amused by it. Star Black Voyager. We're just going to kind of keep chugging along on this because there is so much to do. And this might be the thing that I want to talk about the most. Longtime viewers of the channel, people who watched a lot of the live streams, people who have listened to the Potters TV podcast with Kyle Bridget and I know that comic depictions of the Bible are things that both I and Kyle Bridget really enjoy. And this is something I've never seen before. I don't know how I missed it, but this is The Book of Duck. Artist and writer Duck Edwing. And you have the Bible Belts department. And yeah, I just wanted to go through this. In the beginning, there was nothing. And he created the earth and skies. He created the mountains, the forests, Arthur, the avocado tree, and the oceans. He created fish to swim the seas. Oh, fish to swim the seas, birds to fly the skies, animals to roam the land. And he created man. Look at that. So far, it's like this is just the Bible. In the end, there was nothing. Ooh, look at he's killing all the animals, chopping down the trees, overfishing the oceans. In the Garden of Eden. Oh, Lord. Yes? Somebody slew Abel. Okay, he already fucked it up because this is Cain and Abel happened after they left the Garden of Eden. Somebody slew Abel, no problem. There's only 3 people left on earth. Round up the usual suspects. It's also, anyway. Lot at Sodom and Gomorrah. As forewarned, Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt when she turned to peak later at the funeral. I want my remains sprinkled over a nice medium rare steak. David battles Goliath. Go David. Go David. What can I tell you? Go Goliath. What can I tell you? I'm a giant fan. Here's Samson in the Philistine temple. He didn't have his hair. He had that right. Oh my God, that's horrible. The Jonah and the whale. I mean, I like these. This is fun. Moses parts the Red Sea. Whenever you're ready to let her go. Little whatchamacallit, surfer humor. Anyway, this is kind of fun. And I appreciate this. But really, this is just, this is the Old Testament. That's all. So I wish that there was multiple parts of this or that it went a little bit farther. Now this one, renaming everyday gadgets. Wait, is this the one I'm thinking of? Yes, it is. Renaming everyday gadgets to reflect their actual purpose. The writing is okay, but this is George Woodbridge, and George Woodbridge was really cool because if you look at his artwork over the years, over his tenure at Mad Magazine, you can recognize that it's him, unlike Dave Berg, right? Look at the start of Dave Berg, and then you look where he ended up. You're like, this is not the same guy. But with George Woodbridge, you can recognize it's the same guy, but he updated his style in a really good way, and he improved tremendously. And some of the areas that you can see that are in pages like this in 1995. Just like look at, I mean, it's completely different than things he would have been creating earlier on at Mad Magazine, like in the 70s. But it's absolutely fantastic. And the best ones, I mean, you can see like this. I'm kind of obsessed with the way he's drawing like clothes and hair. But it's really the panel that's really, really cool. It's coming up. It's on the next page. But look at this. I mean, this is amazing. But again, totally different than his original style. Really exaggerated, kind of like, I mean, look at this. This is out of control. Cigarette is a non-Kevorkian suicide machine. But I want look at this one though. Like the way this woman is drawn. The handgun is the random loved one eliminator. Holy smokes. I mean, the smoke, the way that she's like clutching her breast, the folds in the fabric, her expression, all of her hair flowing. Just look at like the bottle falling off. What a cool illustration. I really like this one quite a bit. And it just goes on and on. He's such a talented guy. Woodbridge, if he's not in your top 10 Mad Magazine artists, you've done something wrong. You fucked up. All right? Sorry. And now here we are. We're at 26 minutes, and there's still so much cool stuff in this. We have, are you a shopaholic? I mean, like some of the stuff like this. If at the height of a sexual encounter, you have ever accidentally yelled out the name Eddie Bauer or Hammaker Schlemmer, charge $300. Yeah, some awesome Al Jaffee artwork, really funny writing, lighter side of, no shame in skipping that. And we don't even have time to go over this. Howard at the mic. Basically, Casey at the back. Drawn by Sam Viviano, going through like the history of Howard Stern. And I'm going to be honest, I was never a Howard Stern dude. Growing up, I was like 10 years old at this time in the Midwest, and I know he was big in the Midwest, but he got to start over on the East Coast. So that's, I think, always where he was biggest. But yeah, I think that just wasn't where I was at. So Howard Stern never really held that much interest for me. But I know, he is like a cultural icon. Here we have a beautiful Matt Folden. Is that Ronald Reagan? I can never tell. And I do want to talk about this because it's like kind of an interesting early computer artwork thing happening in MAD. The Adventures of Harold Littmeyer, Chiropractor. So he takes his suitcase and he is like unfolding this woman out of the suitcase. And it's kind of cool. I guess they just did early Photoshop to do this. And it turned out kind of neat. It was, I don't know. They're playing around, they're experimenting, and I think that is worthwhile. So there we have it, Mad Magazine number 339. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the best way to support this channel. If you've made it all the way to the end, leave a comment that says, blooper duper. That's it. And I'll know that you watched all the way to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.